Facebook gave us a new way to connect with friends, family, and the world. Twitter brought this world to us in real time. And YouTube allowed anyone with a smartphone to become a virtual broadcast network unto themselves. It was glorious and empowering. But that was yesterday.
Oh God, here we go. What the fuck, my dude? Webster's Dictionary defines plantation owner as Oh, you thought that was bad. Tulsi is finally on PragerU with Dave Rubin. Tulsi on PragerU. Looks like you made it.
And the fact that even throughout the events of the last few days that we have to hear from, Angela Merkel in Germany saying, oh, this is a really dangerous thing that is an unprecedented threat to the freedom of speech. We're not hearing that from many people in our own government at the highest levels, which should raise alarm bells given our society is set up on this foundation of fundamental freedoms, foremost among which is that freedom of speech. And again, I think this should be a cause for a lot of...
Has anyone ever been on a panel or in a room with any of them and actually brought up the fact that private corporations don't fall under the First Amendment of the Constitution for free speech? Because they're not technically public forums. They're private companies. Has anyone said that? Like, I'm curious, do they, like, what is I just want to know what the response is. Is it just like, well, yeah, that may be true, but it's grown to such a size that it should be considered part of the public forum. It's necessary in everyday life. And I'm like, okay, I agree with you. We're speaking the same language. So then what do you propose? ... Instead of continuously being like, my free speech, how could they have taken it from us?
Introspection amongst us as people, but also in holding our own leaders
German
accountable.
Twitter censors so hard, no way.
This? The thing that is always interesting to me, and that I've seen numerous examples of, especially over the last year, is how people, like AOC and others, support these actions. But what happens if, Jack leaves Twitter and it's taken over by somebody who holds values different from AOC, and then the tables are turned and they decide, actually, you know what? We don't want...
That would suck. It would suck. Jack Dorsey does not have the values of AOC. That's not true. Tulsi Gabbard, what are you saying out loud right now? That's not a thing. He's a tech bro. He's like a huge tech bro. He's never talking about, like, SOCDEM policies, Medicare for all. Have you ever heard him say that? He doesn't talk about that kind of shit. And anyways, yeah, that's a terrible thing. If the CEO of a company like that gets replaced and all of a sudden they were going to police speech in a different manner, that would suck too. I would say the same thing. I would say it probably more vocally then, that this is a bad thing. We have a problem here. These private corporations should not be able to control our speech in this way if they're going to be the public forum, if they're necessary in society, if they've grown to such a size where this is how we now have discourse. Then all of a sudden, do you think they should be perhaps, I don't know, broken up?
I hear what you have to say.
Google gave us instant access to vast amounts of information. Facebook gave us a new way to connect with friends, family, and the world. Twitter brought this world to us in real time. And YouTube allowed anyone with a smartphone to become a virtual broadcast network unto themselves. It was glorious and empowering. But that was yesterday.
Oh God, here we go. What the fuck, my dude? Webster's Dictionary defines plantation owner as Did you is this Whitey? Did you find Whitey? Is this literally White? Is this him? When I hear that term, have we found Whitey? Okay, great.
Today, it's 1984 all over again.
Of course it is.
Big Brother's back,
Of course.
with an important twist. Our former liberators now want to be our masters.
Oh.
Apple, Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, the giants of social media, are demanding conformity to their values. It's their way or the highway. Conform or die. This image is perfectly captured not by an ad, but by this recent real-life scene. Row after row of men and women stare up at Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, as he makes a presentation, ironically before a civil rights group. We only have one message for those who seek to push hate, division, and violence. You have no place on our platforms, Cook tells his audience. You have no home here. Hate? Division? According to whom? The answer is obvious. According to Apple, Google.
That's the example? Like they're like, yeah, we don't want racists on our platforms. And PragerU's like, oh, interesting. But who gets to decide? Who gets to choose who does or does not love the N-word? It's like, well, Apple does because they're a private company. That's, is this the end of days all of a sudden?
According to whom? The answer is obvious. According to Apple, Google,
Yes.
YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yes.
They are becoming the big brother Orwell foresaw.
But they're controlling you now? He wants it both ways. Elon Musk on the mass exodus of business from California. By the way,
I think it's incredible.
this is so greasy, PragerU. This might even be grounds for lawsuit. It looks as if you're trying to imply that these people endorse your beliefs in these videos. Like in the case of Dave Rubin and Tulsi, sure, you're not going to get a phone call there. But in the case of Elon Musk, like I know Elon Musk is like, space Karen and everything. But if I saw this, if I was popping up on PragerU, like I don't think Elon Musk aligns with PragerU. He aligns with some weird kind of like libertarian tech bro philosophy. I don't think he would like... I don't know. Wouldn't you want to be like, why are you associating me with your content? All you do is you start with interviews as if the people agreed to this when it's clearly like taken from the Wall Street Journal. And then you add on PragerU like indoctrination at the very end with like real PragerU interviews and real PragerU hosts. So the whole thing is manipulated. So people are like, oh, wow. Yeah, Elon Musk for PragerU. Interesting. Here we go. Neat. If you want us to advertise your channel or work, please go to weareserfs.com and email us a 20 to 30 second ad, and we'll take it on to the end of one of our videos to help promote your leftist channel or progressive something. Whatever you do.
To our gods, I'm Raph, Xander Corvus, and Schlatsky. We shall build golden idols in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, you have our undying fealty. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Hans Josephin, C. Bartlett, Jimothy K. Meeple Beeps Jr., Bisexual Black Gamer, and Trofox, we shall carry your banners onto the battlefield. To our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byte, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Political Puppy, Jimmy Bignuts, Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, that's solid poon then, Dr. Zayas, Yoppie, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Thomas Barrington, J. Fraser Cartwright, Goofalankius, Melissa Murphy, Nicholas Marks, Alexander Thaler, Ali Rada Jafer, Alex Gauvin, Radical Maniac, The Great Houdini, and Callie Kotka. We salute you.